channel. Today I'm going to be doing a video that I have only done once before. I haven't done it since because it kind of scarred me. I did the 24-hour readathon like a year ago. Honestly, probably like a year ago. I don't know. And I did it, well, the goal was to read as long as I could for 24 hours. Like I was just gonna read and see how long I could stay up. And I ended up staying up like till like 1 or 2, and then I read the next day. It was honestly brutal. Like the video turned out pretty entertaining and fun to watch, but it's very hard to read for that long. I also feel like none of the books I read were that like great. Like they weren't gripping to make me not want to put them down. You know what I mean? So I think that, you know, made it not so great. But today I'm going to be doing it. We're going to change it up because I've had a couple of requests for me to do a 24-hour readathon, but I won't be doing that. I think I'm going to do the timer method, which basically means I'm going to just time myself as I read for a few days, probably like a week, who knows. And just whenever I read, I'm going to time myself and see how much I can read in a 24-hour period. I think these are so fun to watch. And I'm also curious how many books I can read in 24 hours because I feel like throughout the week I read a lot, but I just don't time myself. So I'm curious how much I read in like a week, how many hours I read. So I thought I would tell you what I'm currently reading just to get this ball rolling. Hi Rosie, you're so sweet. So I did start a new book yesterday and I didn't get very far, but I started Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson, and I'm on page 88 and I am really enjoying it. It's been very interesting. I'm like, I want to continue and see what happens. This is a series. If you didn't know, it's like a murder mystery academia vibe series, but I'm going to be abandoning that and starting this book that just came in the mail today, and I'm so excited. It's The Brothers Hawthorne by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is a spin-off of the Inheritance Games. Honestly, don't really know what this is about. I just know it's following Jameson and Grayson, but I'm so excited about this. I've been waiting on this book literally, I feel like, since she announced it, because I've been so excited to read more about these characters. And I kind of forgot how much I love the Inheritance Games until this book came in the mail, and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm so excited. So this is what I'm gonna be reading. Please, look at this. Someone's wanting attention. She's like, stop talking about books and give me attention. Anywho's, so that's what I'm gonna read, and we'll see how it goes. I'm also have been listening to A Court of Silver Flames on audio, but I'm not very far and I don't have much longer. I might have a couple weeks left on my hold on Libby, so we'll see. I also borrowed it on Kindle because it kind of just happened at the same time, and I'm about 16% through. So I'm not feeling too good about that, but I am very excited just for a nice, cozy riddles mystery. If you don't know about the Inheritance Games, it's like a YA mystery, kind of. And it's so good. I love that series. I'm so excited to read this. Also, if you've heard of The Naturals, it's super popular right now. It's by the same author. I haven't read that. I really want to, but I'm so excited to see how this is. I know nothing about it. So I'm just gonna hop on in, see what happens. Also, her books are short chapters, very easy to fly through. So I feel like I'm gonna read this very fast, and I'm very excited.
I never felt tomorrow closing in this fast. Oh, I guess time's
So I thought I would do a little update. I am an hour in, and I've been reading The Brothers Hawthorne, and I'm on page 73, which I feel like is pretty good for an hour. I feel like I've been reading this faster than most books, probably because it's like a mystery. It's YA, very quick to read. And I am really, really enjoying it. I love these characters so much, and I like miss them from reading the Inheritance Games. I'm so excited to like read more about them. So this book is, like I said, a spinoff of the Inheritance Games, and I didn't really know what it was about, but from how much I've read so far, it is following the final gambit. So the final gambit ends, this book picks up a few months later, and I would recommend reading that before you read this. Like, this probably isn't gonna make much sense. Well, it'll make sense because it's YA, but like, this is definitely like a continuation. Not a continuation. You could get a conclusion in that book, but this is just what's happening after the final gambit. So you're gonna enjoy it more, obviously, if you know these characters. If you read the Inheritance Game series, you definitely should pick this up. But I'm obviously only 70 pages in, but I am really, really enjoying it. I feel like it's just so fun, so interesting. I feel like it's just very fast paced, which is so fun to read, and I really like Jennifer Lynn Barnes' writing. Also, Jennifer Lynn Barnes, her chapters are so short, like a couple pages, which is so fun. I feel like you just fly through it. Very excited to read some more of it tonight. That's my update at an hour. I probably won't Definitely won't do hour updates, but I wanted to give a little update on the first hour, and I'll just let you know how much I read today. It is the next day, and I didn't make much progress on my reading yesterday. I'm at, let me look, 3 hours and 34 minutes, and part of this I fell asleep. I'm not sure when. I think between 2.5 hours and 3 hours I fell asleep. I woke up, I stopped the timer. I don't know when. I made it to page 149 of The Brothers Hawthorne, and then I fell asleep. Really loving it, really enjoying it. But I stopped the clock at 3 hours, got ready for bed, and when I woke up from my nap, I had the most exciting DM of my entire life. I got an arc of Things We Left Behind by Lucy Score, and I'm literally screaming, crying, jumping for joy, running around my house. I am so excited to read this. Like, I'm literally giddy. Literally so giddy about this book. This is the last book in the Knock 'Em Out series. There's Things We Never Got Over, Things We Have From the Light, and then Things We Left Behind. And this is one of my most anticipated releases of 2023, and I got an arc of it, and I'm so excited. So I abandoned everything else I was reading, and I'm gonna read this. So I read for like 30 minutes last night, and I'm going to read a lot today. I think it's currently 2 p.m. I finished everything I needed to do today, so I'm gonna read. This is about Lucian and Sloane, and it's like Second Chance. I'm so excited because Lucian is very mysterious. You get glimpses of him in the previous books, but really you know nothing about him. So I'm very excited to see what we learn about him in this book, obviously because we're getting his point of view, which is just so fun. So I'm so excited. It's a small town romance series. This is the last book. It comes out September 5th. So by the time this video's up, this book is out. So I'm so excited to share my thoughts. I'm gonna read this. Probably gonna finish Brothers Hawthorne in this video too, but this is also pretty long. I think it's over 500 pages, and it's because it's an arc, I only have percentages, but I'll just let you know how many hours it takes me to finish, but I think it's over 500 pages. But I just love this series so much. It's just a great time. Like, I'm just hanging out with the characters. You get glimpses of the previous characters, like the characters from the previous books. I'm so excited. I started it, I'm already enjoying it. So we're trying to make a dent. Obviously, I really want to just read this book all day, but also want to make a dent in my timer for this video. So that's my update. I'm so excited. Can you tell?
I've been feeling so small.
It's been a while since I've talked to you. It's 11:41. I just hit 10 hours unintentionally. I've just been reading Things We Left Behind, and I'm 50% through the book. Loving it so much. Haven't wanted to put it down, clearly. So I'm definitely gonna finish this tomorrow. Probably gonna read a little bit more in bed, but we're almost halfway through, which is kind of crazy. So how many did 7 hours today? 6.5 hours today I've read. Pretty good. That's all. Good morning, guys, or good afternoon whenever you're watching this. Anywho's, it is the next day, and I have made it halfway through this challenge. I'm on 12 hours and 43 minutes, so I'm feeling very good. I stayed up till like 1:30 reading last night, and I woke up at like 8 this morning, and then continued to read because I'm trying to finish this book because it's so good I don't want to put it down. Definitely gonna finish this book today, but I'm feeling very good that I'm halfway through, and I've only been doing this for a couple days. That feels very good. This book, if you've read the other 2 books in the series and you've been waiting on this book, it's literally everything that I hoped for and more. Like, it's so good. You learn everything that you like want to know about these characters, like why there was this kind of like animosity between them, and like kind of what happened when they were kids and things like that. And it's just so good. I don't want to put it down. Like, I'm loving it so much. It is very long. It's like almost 600 pages, which is quite long for romance, but there's also like a mystery aspect to it. If you've read the first 2 books, they also had a mystery aspect. I'm just literally loving it so much. I feel like I haven't had a book that made me want to stay up super late in a long time. Like, I didn't want to put it down. So that's a good sign. But anywho's, that's my update. I'm gonna keep reading, and I will, you know, let you know when I finish this book, my rating, things of that sort. Hi. still in the same spot, but I did just finish Things We Left Behind by Lucy Score, and I cried at the end. I was not expecting to get emotional, but one particular part of the end I was like emotional about. This is also the last book in the Knock 'Em Out series, so you kind of get like a conclusion for everyone that you've met in the previous books, which is just like, it's bittersweet because I love this series so much. I love these characters, and I hope that she like includes them in future books or like writes something for them in the future. But I did want to say that I'm at 14 hours and 43 minutes, and I was like calculating how long it took me to finish this book because I started reading it at like 3 hours, and I haven't read anything else. I've just been reading this. So it took me like almost 12 hours to read this book. That is so long, which it was almost 600 pages, so I guess that makes sense. But I'm like, I feel like it took me so long, and I'm literally over halfway done with this challenge, and I've read one book. Well, I did read 150 pages basically of another book, but I pretty much just read one book. So hopefully I will finish at least one more in this video. But yeah, I loved it so much. I don't know what I'm gonna rate it. I might save that for the end of this video. But also, if you watch my wrap up, I probably said my rating in that because this will go up after my wrap up. But it was just so good. I definitely think it's my favorite in the series. I just think I love these characters so much. There's definitely more of an emotional aspect, I feel like, to this one because there's just a lot of things like you're unpacking, or the author's unpacking about these characters from their past. And obviously that is why there's like this animosity between them as adults. But I also think I just like Lucian, I don't know how to say his name, more than Nash and Knox. Like, he's like very much closed off, like not gonna let anyone in. And I just love reading about those characters. I don't know what it is. So anyways, finish this. I'm gonna actually get some stuff done for the day, do some work, and I will hopefully read, maybe not later. Today is the last day of the month, so I don't know if I'll read another book or like finish another book this month because I did spend a lot of today just reading this. So this will probably be the last book I read in the month, but hopefully I'll read at least a little bit later. This book is out by the time you watch this, so you should definitely go read it if you haven't, or if you've read the Knock 'Em Out series, you're gonna love this book. Like, if you've loved the other two, you're gonna love it. It's everything that you're hoping for as the conclusion of the series, and also because I feel like we've been so curious about Lucian and Sloane in the first two books, and so I feel like you're gonna get everything you're wanting in this one. I'm literally so thankful that I got an arc. I'm like giddy. It was so good, and I feel so thankful that I got to read it a little bit early before it comes out, and I'm able to like give a review for you to read it now that it's out. Also, if you haven't read the Knock 'Em Out series, you definitely should. It's so good. If you like small town vibes, romance, found family, a little bit of mystery, you're gonna love this. There is spice in it, and I just like pretty much just, you know, kept tapping and just skip that part. It is a decent bit of spice. I would say more spice than Tessa Bailey, less spice than Elsie Silver. If you're wanting like a spice scale, it's, you know, pretty spicy, but it was just so good. I love the series so much, and I highly recommend you read it. And if you've read the other two books, you definitely need to read this one because it's so good. Oh, I can add to my reading journal. Should I do that? I love doing this. This is my favorite part of reading. I just love getting to update my reading journal. So this is what it looks like. I did it in the previous vlog, so. It is the next day, I think. Yeah. And I read a little bit last night, but then I fell asleep. So I read from page 149 to 171, 22 pages. So really made some progress there. And I got to 15 hours and 8 minutes after I read that. And now I'm at 16 hours and 9 minutes. So we are making progress. We're making money. I'm on page 231 of the Brothers Hawthorne, so like halfway through, pretty much. And I'm really enjoying it. I feel like it's like super fast paced, like the chapters are so short, and I really like getting Grayson and Jameson's point of view. You're getting a point of view of both of them, but they're in different like areas and doing different things. You're just following that. I'm not gonna say too much because I think it's just, you know, going blind knowing who it's about. But I think I just really am in a romance mood, so I'm like wanting to pick up a romance, and I'm also like intrigued what's gonna happen because there's a lot of like plot twists, cliffhangers kind of at the end of chapters, puzzles, riddles, things like that. So I am enjoying that aspect of it, and I just love these characters, so I am enjoying it. But I'm definitely excited to read romance, even though it's been all I've been reading recently. But anyways, that's my update. But we have like less than 8 hours to go. 24 hours minus 16 hours and 9 minutes. That's less than 8 hours to go. Oh, okay, well, look at that. Very excited that we are getting close, and I'm hoping to finish this book and then also get through most of another one. Maybe, we'll see. Good morning, it is Saturday, and I am so excited to read today. I feel like Saturdays and Sundays are like prime reading time, and I get so much reading done on those days. Okay, Lily's here. But I wanted to give an update on yesterday. So I read, let me go to my notes. I read to page 246 of The Brothers Hawthorne, so 75 pages of that. And then I got in bed. I was gonna read The Brothers Hawthorne, and I might have read a chapter of it, I don't know. And then I just literally completely changed my mind and picked something else. And I started Desire or Defense by Leah Brenner. This is a hockey romance, closed door, less than 300 pages. It just sounds so good. I just was in a hockey romance mood. I don't really know. But I started this, and I read 17, or I'm on page 17 of it, and I'm at 16 hours and 52 minutes. We have 7 hours and 8 minutes left. I definitely think I can finish this for sure, and then hopefully make a good dent in The Brothers Hawthorne, like get really close to finishing it, because I want to finish it in this video. But maybe I'll just go back and forth between this and Brothers Hawthorne. I don't know, but I was just in the mood for this. I'm just like on my Kindle grind. I feel like I read every book on my Kindle because I just love it so much. Even books in August that I read physical copies of, I mostly read them on my Kindle too. So, you know, here we are. It's just so much easier, especially when I'm in bed or, you know, I don't know. But I'm gonna read this. We have plans later today, and then I'll read more tonight. So that's kind of my Saturday plan. And then tomorrow we have church, we have a lunch thing, and then I'll read more when I get home. So that's my weekends. People are like, how do you read so much? And I'm like, well, I literally spend the whole weekend reading. So, and I also spend most of my nights, my evenings reading too. So there you go, if you want to answer that question. But that's my update. Very excited to read this. It is like an enemies to lovers hockey romance. Even just the first couple chapters, I feel like I'm really gonna like it. I feel like it's gonna have a little bit, not too emotional, but just have like a deeper undertone than just like a fun rom-com. So I think it's gonna be really good, and I'm excited. It's also dual POV, which I love. So okay, I hit 17 hours and I read one chapter, or finished a chapter of this book. I'm on page 27, and I'm like enjoying it, but the grammar, I feel like someone didn't proofread, because there's like so many run-on sentences, so many like not complete sentences, and I'm like, this is just fixed through editing, through proofreading, and I feel like it just wasn't proofread, and it bothers me so much, because in high school, when I was in my senior English class, my teacher ground into us run-on sentences, and so now I can't read a run-on sentence because it like drives me crazy. So anyways, I think I'm gonna go get The Brothers Hawthorne and continue it. I do want to finish or like continue this because I do like the premise of it, but I can't. I'm getting annoyed with the run-on sentences, and I'm like, how is that? I've seen reviews of this. I've never heard anyone talk about the writing. I don't know. Like, the writing would be fine if like the sentences were just complete. Anyways, I'm gonna go get The Brothers Hawthorne.
I was on fire, our house, our dreams.
So I just finished The Brothers Hawthorne, and it did end on a cliffhanger. There is another book, which she has talked about the next book, but I was not expecting. There was a huge plot twist at the end of this, and now I have to wait another year to find out what's gonna happen. So, you know, that's good, but I did really enjoy it. I feel like at first it was a little slow. Well, it wasn't slow, it was very fast paced, but I was just like very frustrated with the grandfather, because you're getting Jameson and Grayson's point of view, so you really hear a lot about their grandfather, Tobias Hawthorne, and he's literally awful. So that was kind of, I was like, I feel so bad for these brothers. But by the end, I feel like there was character development. It was very good, action-packed. And then at the end, there was a nice plot twist. And I'm very excited to see what happens in the next book. Also this, I think Jennifer Lynn Barnes has said this, but the epilogue of The Final Gambit happens after this book. So like The Final Gambit happens, this book happens, and then the epilogue of The Final Gambit happens. I'm pretty sure. I can't really say much without spoiling the brothers or the Inheritance games or spoiling this book, but I did really enjoy it. And it was just so quick. Like I feel like I flew through it. And I'm currently at 20 hours and 22 minutes. So I have less than 4 hours to go. And it also makes me excited to read the Natural series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes because her writing is just so fast paced. Like you're wanting to continue because the chapters are so short. And I also just love these characters and I love that we got more of them. I think I would give it 4 stars. It was really good. But at some points I was getting a little frustrated with Tobias Hawthorne because he's awful. And I felt bad for the brothers. But other than that, I thought it was like really good, fast paced. Really enjoyed it. So that's my review of the Brothers Hawthorne. And I finished it before we had to leave. So now I'm gonna go. Maybe read some more later.
Say something that will make my day, 'cause these memories of her won't go away. They're haunting me so I can't sleep. She was a pretty little liar who cut me deep, 'cause she left me here alone.
Hi, hello. It has been almost a week and I didn't outro this vlog. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna tell you all the books that I read. I'm also gonna give you my thoughts on the last book I read because I didn't do that. After I finished The Brothers Hawthorne, I continued reading Desire or Defense by Leah Brunner. I kind of read that without the timer a little bit because I read it like not fully at my house, so I just didn't put the timer on. I finished it with the timer, but I probably read a little bit longer than 24 hours to finish that book. But anywho's, so I finished that and hit 24 hours. So I read 3 books in this video. Pretty much. Desire Defense I really enjoyed. I talked about it a little bit how the grammar bothered me, which it still did, but I feel like as you keep reading I didn't notice it as much because I really like the storyline. So basically it's about this hockey player who is very grumpy, very closed off, and then he gets in a fight at one of his games and has to sit out for like 5 weeks or something and ends up coaching this like team of like teenagers basically, or like younger kids in hockey. So at the very beginning of the book, he is coaching this team and they kind of get in a little bit of a fight, a couple of the players, and a woman, Andy, like storms on the hockey the rink. She storms on the rink because like you shouldn't talk to him like that, blah, blah, blah. And you can probably imagine what happens. Her little brother is on the hockey team and she's like his guardian now because their parents passed. So you kind of just follow that scenario. It's less than 300 pages. I think like 250 maybe. And I really enjoyed it. I feel like if you want to read Icebreaker, but you don't want to read it because it's spicy, I highly recommend this book. I feel like you will enjoy it. It's going to give you the same vibes. The Found Family with the hockey players is really good. So I just highly recommend it. If you are a hockey romance girly, but you don't want to read all the spice, you should read this. I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I also, after this video, I read the second book in the series, which I did like more than the first, but I just highly recommend the series in general. It's called the Hooked on a Feeling series. I don't really know. I think another one is coming out and there's also a novella, which I haven't read yet, but it's just like a hockey romance series. So good. So I highly recommend this one in the series as a whole, but this is the one I read in this video. My dog is hitting the tripod, but let's go over all the books that I read in this video. So first I read Things We Left Behind by Lucy Score. I gave this a 4.75. I loved it so much. It was everything I was hoping for. Highly recommend. If you have read the Knock 'Em Out series, you should read this. Obviously you probably have already read it because it is out by now, but if you haven't, you should. If you want a small town romance series, highly recommend this. It is spicy, but still very good. Loved it so much. Then I read The Brothers Hawthorne by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I gave this 4 stars. I really enjoyed it, but I was annoyed with the grandfather and felt bad for the brothers, which I had mentioned previously, and that's kind of the only thing that bothered me. And I feel like halfway through, I was like kind of wanting a romance, so I put it down, read a romance, or read a little bit of a romance, and then picked it back up. And I really did enjoy it. I liked the end, and I'm very excited for the next book because there's another one coming out next year. So 4 stars, really enjoyed it. And then, like I said, Desire Defense by Leah Brunner, I gave 4 stars as well. Really good, enjoyable, fun read. So that is this video. I hope you enjoyed. I actually had so much fun filming this. I really liked doing it this way. So if you want me to do another 24-hour readathon in this like style, please let me know. I would love to. But I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon for my next video. Bye.